walk in and I have more actors calling me up and say, listen, I'm going up for this DS9 audition tomorrow, man. What the hell is a Klingon? And I said, baby, just work from the reptilian part of your brain. You got it, Klingon. Yes, ma'am.
One thing I've always wondered about the Garrick-Bashir relationship. You know what I was going to ask?
Oh, no, I'm patient. I'm patient. I'm willing to
One thing I was wondering is, one reason why Garrick is, so friendly with Bashir.
Did you hear the way she said friendly with Bashir?
Was because because he might be attracted to him.
Well, of course he's attracted to him. I mean, let's be frank here. Garrick's sex life is up for grabs. I mean, Garrick doesn't have strict definitions about, I mean, please, he has a good time. I mean, girls like to have a good time. Garrick does. He doesn't care what it is or who it is. As long as it's intelligent, it can read, it can write, and it can have conversation with. Gotcha. Garrick is turned on more by conversation than anything else. The way to Garrick's heart is through conversation. There's no question about it. Yes, ma'am. In the alternate universe, when Garrick blew a kiss to Kira, whose idea was that? It was mine. Because, see, the thing about the alternate universe is that everyone's supposed to be opposite, right? So you have Garrick behaving like Gul Dukat, because Gul Dukat and Garrick are natural opposites. And basically on DS9, Garrick and Kira, well, Kira especially, does not like Garrick, for obvious reasons. Obvious reasons. Garrick is pleasant to her, but she doesn't want anything to do with him. She doesn't trust him, rightfully so. He's not a person to be trusted at all. He's a deceptive, deceiving, conniving, scheming, lying, charming person. It sounds like some of your ex-husbands, right? Yeah. Anyway, but so in the alternate universe, Garrick has the hots for her, and I tried to convince Nana to go that route. I still got a ways to go with that. Actually, though, they may not do any more alternate universes, because I gotta tell you, I thought that last one was not terribly good. The first one was good, the one the season before, but that last one, I didn't have a good time with it. I don't know. Maybe you guys did. I'm thinking yes, sir, the one who's waving. See, he's assertive. That's it. Be assertive.
This might go back to your opening statement. What is it like now being in the position of that the mere act of signing your name on a photograph or another object has such incredible sentimental and symbolic value to your fans, as well as in the real world financial value as well?
Yeah. What is it? What does it mean for me to have that kind of phenomenon, to be a part of that phenomenon where my autograph suddenly, it means something, has meaning. I'm humbled by this. Believe me, I'm not standing up here sort of like, I am. I'm humbled by this. I find this, because there's something that is, I'm talking about me, not you. Me. There's something about this that's dangerous. And you can start thinking that you're a different kind of person. And that somehow you orbit in a different world, in a different universe. And I'll tell you, my career and my life has been such where there have been ups and there have been downs, and my downs are just as down as anybody else. And then some of them have been so down, it's been, looked like up to me, where it's hurt, and it's hurt so much, I don't ever want to forget it, because I don't ever want to go back there. And one of the ways to go back there is through arrogance and hubris, what the Greeks called it. So, if my signature on a picture or a piece of memorabilia has meaning for you, God bless you. I think that's great. I think that is absolutely fine. And if some of you can make a living off of that, okay, I'll go go along with that, within reason, always within reason. But it's not going to change me. I mean, you know, I'm here, I'm Andy, and that's that. Okay? Deal? Good.
Yes, a question for you with your epic shooting schedule. Do you ever have time to review any of the episodes that are aired on TV? And do you ever find yourself second-guessing the way you portray yourself in a particular scene? Like, oh, I should have done
Oh, do I ever second-guess myself acting? I mean, you tell me the actor that doesn't second-guess him or herself. I mean, it's like an occupational hazard. You look at, and that's one of the reasons why, like, half the time I can't watch myself. You know, but I'm better at it now. I think the older you get, the more you realize you're going to die, so you might as well enjoy yourself while you're still alive. I think it's when you're young, you think you're going to live forever, that you're constantly trying to second-guess yourself, and, you know, like, oh, no, I could have done that better. Let's see if you're going to get another chance. Please, wake up. And then, when you say review the shows, I mean, you mean do I get a chance to watch the shows?
Yes, the episodes that have just been aired recently.
Oh yeah, I try to watch all of them. I really do. I think it's very important. I don't know if some of the other actors don't, but I know, and I find it's important because it's the context. It's a context from whence Garrick comes out of, so that when I open up the script, I have an idea of what the nexus of relationships are, and I don't have to guess as much. And it's not much of an investment. It's an hour a week or something, and it's helpful. Yes, sir.
You mentioned your relationship with Nana and blowing the kiss to her. She mentioned that she has a terrible time identifying with the character that plays Golden Cott. What is your relationship between this character? There's an animosity that shows.
With Golden Cott.
Yes.
The relationship between Golden Cott and Garrick. And it's interesting, you're talking about Nana and Golden Cott, because Golden Cott and I love what Mark has done when he set himself up as a dad. And I have a feeling that Kardashian society, in a way, is very puritanical. It's sort of very family-driven. I don't mean a family-driven society is puritanical, but, you know, it's sort of like falls. It could almost be fundamentalist, I think. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, where people are monogamous, let's put it that way. And I think that Golden Cott and his philandering is kind of an anomaly in Kardashian society. And he definitely has the hots for Kira. And of course, which just horrifies her. And which leads me to Garrick. If you ever saw that episode, Civil Defense, Garrick is horrified by Golden Cott's posturing and preening when he comes onto the station and he starts coming onto the women. I mean, Garrick is just absolutely aghast. Now, here I talked about Garrick's sex life, you know. But Garrick doesn't have a family. Garrick is discreet. Garrick, you know, is like, you know, is not betraying anyone. Whereas Garrick feels that Golden Cott is betraying his marital family vows or something. But I really think that's an interesting twist, because, you know, all of this, we talk about all this, and I know why we talk about all this. I know why we go over this stuff, because it has parallels with our own lives, with our own society. And we can talk about these things in a way that's harder for us to talk about our own lives and our own society. We can perhaps be a little more frank and may perhaps even be a little more intelligent. I mean, we can be much more intelligent about sometimes what's going on in that world than we can with our own. Look at our world. I mean, if the elevation of discourse was as high over across the river as it is here, I think, you know, things would be a lot better. I mean, really do. You know, there would be a lot more, you know, tolerance, a lot more intelligence what's going on. Anyway, he does get off. I get on my horse. Yeah, Garrick and Golden Cott. There's going to be more with them, because they really are, and we're trying to turn them into, like, you know, the sort of Laurel and Hardy of outer space too. We try to find our comic bits between, because those two guys are natural comic foils for each other. They're wonderful. I love working with Mark. Mark's such a good actor. Way in the back, waving your hand. See, now they're learning about the hand waving thing. You taught somebody something. Anyway, yes. joke thing, I'm acing because you're looking at a guy who, I look at people who do practical jokes and I think, you really are from another planet, aren't you? When I used to go to a boys' school and they used to short sheet you and put spaghetti in your bed, and I used to think, these people are mentally deficient. These people got to get a life, So in terms of that, believe me, we read, we study Shakespeare, we walk in the woods, we climb mountains. That's what we do for our stress factor. Contrary to all the drug and booze stories that go on. Now, the first question is a good one because I did write a script that they told me they didn't want me to do, and basically they didn't want to do it because see, Deep Space Nine, the writers and producers of Deep Space Nine really, and especially Ira Bear, who's the head writer and co-executive producer, really they want to establish their own identity. And I came up with an idea, because I love fairy tales and I love myths and so forth, with an idea where one day the station there was sort of like an electrical power blip, and the entire station was cast in this kind of enchanted suspension, where everyone was just frozen, where they are and what they're doing. And I built this whole story based on it. But basically, the image that inspired me, that image of this sort of fairy tale enchantment, was something that they'd done on Next Generation. So they aced me out of that one. So.